She didn't speak much. She didn't shout or try to prove herself. But every time her name was called, a few Marines smirked. They didn't know her story. They only saw the size of her frame, not the strength in her stillness. They called her weak in training, but none of them had seen what she was capable of.
They called her weak behind closed doors. Dead weight, they whispered, after she missed a timed run by 6 seconds. Slow reflexes, one instructor noted, after she paused a second too long during a simulated breach. But the truth was, she wasn't slow. She was calculating, watching, memorizing the rhythm of chaos around her. While others sprinted to impress, she studied the mechanics of every move. She wasn't behind, she was measuring. By week 3 of advanced combat simulation, the judgment became open ridicule. She walked past the bench press station and heard it clear. "If she makes it through phase 4, I'll eat my rifle." They laughed. She didn't, but she heard everything. She never raised her voice, never defended herself, never barked back. Because she wasn't there to fight them. She was there for something else, something far more dangerous than the doubts they threw at her. But then came the ring test, an unarmed circle challenge used to simulate close-quarters combat stress. 6 Marines stood at the edge. One was chosen to stand in the center. That day, they chose her. They smirked again. They called her weak in training, so she took down 6 Marines with 1 strike. They just didn't know what that strike was yet, and they had no idea what it would cost them. They expected a swing, a charge. They expected clumsy chaos. But what they got was velocity. Before the first boot crossed the line, she pivoted low, spine straight, energy coiled in her hips. Her elbow snapped backward into the first Marine's ribs. No wind-up, no warning. He collapsed. The others hesitated. That's when she moved. 1 step forward, palm to the chin of number 2, shifting all her weight into a calculated arc. He didn't fall. He crumpled. Then came 3 and 4, charging from opposite angles. She ducked under one, grabbed the other's belt loop, and spun, using his mass against him. They crashed into each other. 2 more down. She hadn't taken down 6 Marines with rage. She had done it with pure efficiency, and that terrified them. By the time the last 2 circled her, they weren't smirking anymore. They were calculating escape paths. One threw a punch, wide and wild. She caught his wrist midair and twisted. The crack was audible. The final one froze. She stepped forward slowly. "Still think I'm weak?" No answer. He lowered his fists. She didn't just win. She rewrote what they thought strength looked like. They called her weak in training, but after today, no one would call her anything at all. After the ring test, nobody looked at her the same way. But she didn't bask in it. She walked past the showers and lockers like nothing had changed. She didn't nod. She didn't smirk. Because nothing had changed. Not for her. She'd always known what she could do. It was everyone else who was catching up. That night, the locker room fell silent when she entered. Where there were once jokes, there was now uncertainty. And buried beneath that, fear. 6 Marines still limped from the circle. One had his wrist wrapped. None of them spoke her name. They avoided it like it had weight. She sat at her bench, laced her boots, and one of the instructors came over. "You did more than win today," he said. "You flipped the entire chain." She didn't answer. She was never here for the medals or the claps or the silence that followed violence. She was here for one reason, to survive what came next. Because this training wasn't the end. It was the filter. What lay beyond this base was a battlefield that didn't care about rank or ego. They called her weak in training.
So she took down 6 Marines with 1 strike. And that strike echoed far beyond the circle. Even the commanding officer had asked to observe her next evaluation personally. No one gets that request. No one. Unless they just broke the program. And quietly, she had. They never gave her a medal for that day. No commendation, no announcement in front of the unit. What she got instead was silence and clearance. A month later, her name was missing from the roster. Her bunk was cleared, locker emptied, no explanation posted. But whispers traveled faster than orders. She's Black Ops now. Langley pulled her. She's not even in the system anymore. No one really knew. But one day, a new group of recruits arrived, and during the orientation, a question was asked. "Sir, what happens if someone fails the ring test?" The drill sergeant paused, then pointed to the far end of the field where the dent in the dirt still marked the spot 6 Marines fell. "Ask her," he said. They turned, and there she stood again. Not a recruit this time, not in uniform. She wore black fatigues, no name, no rank, just a watch on her wrist and a file under her arm. She wasn't here to train anymore. She was here to choose. They called her weak in training, so she took down 6 Marines with 1 strike. And now she decides who even gets to step inside the ring.